All right, so we're back and ready to talk some football.
Always ready for that.
We had a listener write in uh, about the Broncos and Ravens game coming up.
Yeah.
Wants to kind of pick it apart, see what we think.
Really get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know, what do you want to call it? What do we do here? Break it down.
Break it down. We break it down. We got some really interesting expert analysis that digs into some really interesting numbers.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's going to help us, really make sense of this matchup.
Yeah.
Because on the surface,
Right.
Broncos 5-3.
5-3. And, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, they haven't really played anybody.
Yeah, their schedule's been kind of weak.
Yeah, but 5-3 is 5-3.
That's right. They're doing something right.
So let's give credit where credit is due.
Exactly. So what is it? What's the secret sauce?
Well, I think it all starts with their defense.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Vance Joseph, he's their defensive coordinator. And, this guy he's got them playing lights out.
Okay, so it's not just that they're winning, it's how they're winning.
Exactly. And that's where these numbers get really interesting. Like, you look at their EPA allowed per play, they're ranked #1 in the entire league.
So explain that to me. What is EPA?
EPA stands for expected points added. It's basically a way to measure how effective a team is on each play compared to the league average. So if you're allowing a really low EPA per play, that means you're making it incredibly difficult for the other team to score points.
Gotcha. So the Broncos D is basically a brick wall.
Pretty much. And it's not just EPA. They're also third in opponent success rate, which means that on a consistent basis, they are preventing teams from getting first downs, moving the chains, and ultimately scoring points.
Wow.
That's impressive.
It is. And then you add in the fact that they're 5th in defensive DVOA.
What's that? DVOA. Never heard of it. DVOA stands for Defense Adjusted Value Over Average. It's basically a metric that takes into account the strength of your opponents and adjusts your performance accordingly. So you're not just looking at raw numbers, you're looking at how well you're doing against good teams, bad teams, the whole spectrum.
Gotcha. So they're not just beating up on the weaklings, they're holding their own against the best of the best.
That's right. And that's why I think this Broncos team, despite the talk about their schedule, is legit.
Okay, so that's the Broncos side of things. But what about the Ravens? They're usually known for their offense, right?
Absolutely. The Ravens are always a threat to put up points, but
There's a but.
there's a but, yeah.
Yeah.
They've got this kind of strange weakness.
Okay, I'm listening.
The fourth quarter.
Huh.
Fourth quarter has not been kind to them. They've been outscored, get this, 93-59 in the fourth quarter alone this season.
Whoa, wait. Hold on. They're getting outscored by that much in just the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's almost like they turn into a completely different team in the final 15 minutes.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's got to be concerning for their fans and their coaches.
Oh, absolutely. It's got to be incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, so if their offense is sputtering out in the fourth, that has to affect their betting record too, right? Games can really flip in those last few minutes.
Oh, absolutely. And it shows in the numbers. Since 2021, as big favorites, they are 1-11-1 against the spread.
Oof. That's not pretty. So they're not covering the spread when they're expected to win big. That late game slump must be playing a big role in that.
I think so. If you're constantly blowing leads or letting teams back into games late, you're not going to cover those big spreads very often.
All right, so we got this really interesting matchup on our hands. This Broncos team, they're playing incredible defense, and they're exceeding expectations. And then on the other side, we have the Ravens, a powerful offense, but with this very specific weakness in the fourth quarter.
It's a fascinating clash of styles for sure.
Exactly. So what are we looking for in this game specifically? What are the keys to this matchup?
Well, a big one is going to be how the Broncos defense handles Lamar Jackson. He's a dynamic quarterback who can hurt you with his arm and his legs.
Yeah, he's a special talent for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But the Broncos have held 6 of their last 7 opponents to 18 points or fewer. And they've been particularly tough against the pass.
So if they can contain Lamar's passing game, maybe force him to run a bit more, could that play into their hands?
Possibly. And that's where their strong yards per carry defense comes into play. They're good at stopping the run, too, which is something a lot of teams struggle with against the Ravens.
So really, it sounds like the key here is the Broncos' defense. If they can keep doing what they've been doing, shutting down offenses, they've got a real shot here.
I agree. And if the Ravens continue to struggle in the fourth quarter, well, who knows what might happen.
All right, so let's get down to brass tacks. Give it to us straight. What are your predictions for this game?
Well, based on everything we've discussed, I gotta lean towards the Broncos covering that spread. Plus 9.5 points. With that defense, I think they can keep it close.
That's a pretty big spread. Are you confident they can cover that?
I think so. The Ravens' inconsistency as big favorites, combined with Denver's defensive prowess, makes me think this game could be closer than people expect.
Interesting. Okay, what about the over-under? I think I saw it set at 46.
Yeah, 46 is the number. I'm leaning towards the under on that one. Denver's defense has been so stingy, and this game might turn into a bit of a slugfest. A lot of running, clock chewing, might not see a ton of points.
All right. I love it. Bold predictions. That's what we like to see. So to our listener out there, what do you think? Will the Broncos D continue to dominate? Will the Ravens turn things around in the fourth quarter? Let us know your predictions, and be sure to tune in next time for another exciting breakdown.
And thanks for listening. We'll see you then.